What up peeps, it's me again. So, the special program for the 2.2 update for Honkai Star Rail just aired, and I want to talk about it, share some of my thoughts and summarize it for those who haven't watched it, because there was a lot of yapping and not much information shared. So, starting off, they showed us BOOTHILL, they showed us Robin. Apparently she's alive again, just like Firefly. No one dies in Penacony. There's a new Trailblaze mission, of course. We'll be continuing the Penacony story. There was a focus on Aventurine last patch. Hopefully they'll focus on the family now. So coming to the characters, the new characters, the first one is Robin. She's physical harmony. Her technique is kind of interesting. Like, she actually gets the enemies to follow you. So imagine you get all these enemies following you, like go across the map collecting all these enemies like Pokemon and have them follow you. That'd be hilarious. So her skill gives damage bonus to the entire party, which is kind of interesting. You can just give a damage bonus and you may have like multi DPS parties, like not just focusing on one hyper carry. Supports the entire party, and it also gives us extra energy to make getting her ult easier. Speaking of her ultimate, it is kind of interesting. She starts singing and keeps singing throughout. So I don't know if that's gonna get annoying or not, but we'll see. So she starts singing and advances action for every single party member. Like, it isn't like Branya or Sparkle that just advances action for one party member. She advances every single one. Is this action advance power creep? Like, that's actually really interesting. I can't believe they just glossed over it, but advancing forward everyone is a really huge thing. Like, you could make a lot of teams work like that. And then after she does that, she does extra damage with your characters. So whenever they attack, she does a bit of damage. I hope that's not negligible damage. Like, she's a harmony, but she can also be a sub DPS character, which is pretty cool. Like, we're moving towards the trend of not one character doing damage, but our support characters also contributing a meaningful amount of damage. Like, Aventurine does good damage with his follow-up attacks, and now there's Robin doing attacks that are, I don't know if these count as follow attacks, but yeah, and she's also immune to crowd control, like legit immune. It's not just effect res, she's actually immune. Like, they showed an X on her portrait down there, so she cannot be crowd controlled at all. This is massive power creep. Like, what the hell? She cannot be crowd controlled at all. She just keeps singing, and apparently while she's singing, she cannot be crowd controlled at all. So if you can maintain 100% uptime on this ultimate of hers, then yeah, she's just immune to crowd control. Now, coming to the next character, it's BOOTHILL. He's also physical. We're getting two physical characters. So he's a hunt character, a literal cyborg cowboy. His design is really interesting to me. Like, it's so out there. It's like really interesting. For his basic attack, he actually kicks the opponent on the head. Like, it's like an axe kick. It just goes and kicks the opponent in the head. That's so badass. Like, it adds so much to his personality. And then coming to his skill, it makes him take extra damage from enemies. Like they said, it enters a dual state, so he'll do extra damage to the enemy he marked, but the enemy will also do extra damage to him. So I don't know if he'll be tanky enough to take all that damage, because aren't hunt characters supposed to be frail? That'll be an interesting dynamic. His ult looks really cool. Like, they get transported to another dimension. It's like a Wild West setting, and he has a picture of the enemy on his poster too. And it reminds me of Aaron Black from Mortal Kombat, if you know of him. He also had the names of the enemy on his bullet. So yeah, he's pretty similar to Aaron Black now that I think about it. He's the Aaron Black of Star Rail. And on top of that, he can inflict physical weakness by himself using his ult and his technique. So he's got two ways of implementing physical weakness on enemies that don't have it. Like, move over, Silverwolf. This is real power creep right here. Then we have the new weekly boss here. He looks pretty cool. He has the thing on his head. He's also on the art for this version. This guy has 3 faces and looks kind of difficult actually. Like, I hope I'll be able to beat him. I hope he won't be too difficult. And why does it look like he has multiple weakness bars? Like, they depleted a weakness bar and he got another weakness bar on top of that. So I hope we don't have to break him multiple times, or this is Ron May propaganda. They're pressuring you to get Ron May, and she's not even in this version. Speaking of who's in this version, here are the banners. So we have Robin and Topaz on the first half. Topaz is getting a rerun, and then there's BOOTHILL and Fu Xuan on the second half. So yeah, most people didn't go for Topaz because follow wasn't a real thing back then, and she didn't do as much damage for a hunt character, but she turned out to be a support character that gives you a lot of damage. So with all these new characters, she's definitely gone up in value, so I'm sure a lot more people will be going for Topaz. And Fu Xuan is as good as ever, even with Aventurine. If you just get her, if you want to play this game on easy mode, just get Fu Xuan and she'll carry your account, and it'll be just easy mode basically. New 4-star light cone, but it'll be on the weapon banner, so yeah, pretty risky. If you want to go for weapons, then maybe you'll get the light cone, but it's pretty, like, they're dancing together. Very cool, very cool. So coming to the events here, we have a clocky event. This will be the main event for this version here. So the last version, Acheron sliced the clocky screen into two with her nihility thingy. So we'll be fixing it. It's a nice little tie-in into the plot. They're tying in the event into the plot, and we'll be fixing the screen. Event gameplay seems to be based around films and editing and dice and commercials, and it's all like directorial. So if you're into that sort of thing, then this might be really interesting. Like, I'm personally interested to try it out, but we'll see when it drops out. Like, I really want to try getting into it. And from this event, we'll be getting a new 4-star event light cone. We'll get it S5 as usual, I hope, and it's a harmony cone too, so I hope it'll be good. And the next event after this seems to be a combat event. We can choose weapons and stuff, and we can level it up. And wait, is that 5 million damage she just did? This just boosts my expectation for this event. I'm really looking forward to it. Next event is about Boot. He gets an actual event all for himself, and basically it's just a boring little event where you send characters on expeditions, assignments, and yeah, it'll probably be time gated by principal, but maybe they'll extend the duration. I don't know. Gift of Odyssey is back. It wasn't there in the last patch because we had the anniversary pulls instead, but now we're getting the usual 10 free pulls every patch. So yeah, 10 free pulls, like I'm not gonna complain about that. There's a new boss for Robin and BOOTHILL match, so don't do any farming for these characters. If you want them, wait until the patch drops and farm this new boss instead. And yeah, it's the bulky IPC guy that steals performance points and stuff. It's pretty cool. And we also have new hunt materials for BOOTHILL. So for his traces, you'll have to farm these new materials. It just makes farming harder, but it is what it is. Like, getting all these new materials, even though you have old materials, you still have to farm new ones. And we have the double simulated universe rewards. We got triple last patch, and we're getting double, which is normal. It'll just be def in any case. Like, we got 3 def and we'll get 2 def this time. It exists, it'll happen, whatever. Then there's the double KLXS. You'll be getting double credits and double trace mats. So since the new trace domain is dropping, it's pretty cool that you will be able to farm them double, since farming traces is pretty expensive. For optimizations, we can now see our friends' MOC clear teams. That is cool, I guess, and doesn't really solve the skill issue though. Like, even if you know the teams, that doesn't make it so that you can clear. It's mostly come down to a skill issue. So yeah, you can see teams in your list now, like in a neat little list. You can just scroll down and see all your teams, which is pretty cool. You don't have to scroll them. And now you can tag characters, put a little star on them, which is pretty cool too. You can just have priority characters, the ones which you're raising and stuff, on at the top of your list. And yeah, that's little quality of life stuff, and that's about it. So yeah, that's all the content that's coming in this version. And before we forget, there's also redeem codes. They're probably valid for less than 24 hours. So I'm gonna put them in the comment section. I'm gonna pin my comment, and you can look at those. You can enter those, and yeah, don't miss out on it. Even if it's 300 stellar jades, jades are jades, and they're important. So keep an eye out for redemption codes. And yeah, that's about it. That's all the information that was revealed. So yeah, quite a lot of content. Not as much as the anniversary event, but not a dry patch either. It's a moderate level of content, and I like the amount of content they're giving us. For the characters, I think I'm more interested in BOOTHILL than Robin, personally, because he's really cool. He's really unique kind of person. And I think both of these characters kind of got overshadowed by the Firefly dip marketing that they showed us recently. So yeah, these characters are kind of ignored right now, but I hope people will still pull for them. So yeah, we'll see. And let me know in the comments if you'll be pulling for BOOTHILL or Robin, or what your plans are for this version. And let me know what you think about this version and what you liked from the version content, and we'll have a conversation in the comments. I'll put a little heart on your comment as usual. But yeah, that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe, you know how it is, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.